think you're on mute.
We're just beginning. I think we're live now, Karishma. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm pumped up by the introduction music. The choice of music that Andrea chooses is
I
definitely wakes
know.
you up in the morning. All right,
Yeah,
I'm going to get started straight away as we have very little time. So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today in this conversation. The title of today's conversation is "It All Starts with the Brain." It's a topic that I'm very excited to learn a lot more about. My name is Sanjaya, and having been a business development consultant in digital customer experience platforms, I'm currently redirecting my work towards personal and professional development. I'm very, very happy and excited to have my guest today, Miss Karishma Valiappan. How are you, Karishma, today?
good. Thank you. Thank you so much for doing this. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for this, Andrea. Thanks to Andrea as
My
well.
pleasure. Of course. Many thanks, Andrea. I'm going to get straight into it, Karishma, with a quick introduction of yourself. So, Karishma has a master's in cognitive and clinical neuroscience. She's the founder of Mind Talks Worldwide. She is a brain and mental health coach, market research analyst, and product development specialist at Key Park Education Australia, as well as a regional director for Change Your Algorithm Malaysia. Those are just some of the very few things I could just only capture in very quickly. Thank you, Karishma. And to get into it straight away, I wanted to start off with the audience getting to know you a little bit better. So I think earlier I remember you sharing with me that your love for brain health started with you looking at brain scans. Can you share with us how you felt when you saw those brain scans for the first time?
Okay. So this was back, I think about 15 years ago when I went to get an MRI because I've got hard of hearing. So I can't hear with my left ear, but I can with my right. And I was asked to get into the MRI to see which part of my brain is basically struggling. I do not like to use the word damage. And then the obviously the doctor came out with my scans, and I was like, oh my god, that looks like a really big walnut in my head. So I was like, that is really that's a beautiful walnut. And I remember, my mom would always say, "Oh yeah, eat walnuts because they're really good for brains." Or especially Indian moms would say like, "Eat almonds because it's really good for brains." But I think that's when I fell in love with the brain because it looks so beautiful, but it's yet so complex.
Mhm.
And they've got slices when they do MRI scans, and I just looked at like the different areas of my brain, and it was just so beautiful. And I thought, you know what, I really have to study this. That's one of the parts that I fell in love with the brain, but there were other stories as well much later that really, really made me fall in love with the brain.
Oh, if you have time, we would love to get into those. So another thing about your interest, I read that neuromarketing is something that fascinates you. It's actually the very first time I'm hearing that term. Tell us what is different about neuromarketing versus the traditional marketing that we all usually refer to.
Interesting. I love talking about this. So, the traditional marketing basically talks about consumer decision making, and neuromarketing gets into more details into that. So, it looks at the physiological part of your brain, and it helps companies make decisions based on what the customers basically show. For example, Coca-Cola actually works they basically do neuromarketing. So what they look at is they look at the taste, they look at the smell, they look at the, how the bottle looks, and they work with neuromarketing specialists
Mhm.
and doctors to basically do experiments on people. Now, this is a
Mhm.
very gray area because, of course, it's illegal, but then it's legal, so a lot of people don't really talk about it.
Mhm.
Um, so neuromarketing really gets into the consumer's brain. It
Mhm.
really wants to understand what are the consumer's motivations in buying whatever the product is. So, for example, if it's
Mhm.
Coca-Cola, or if it's like a T-shirt, or even if it's even if it's food, why does the consumer want to buy that thing? So it really gets into the consumer's brain.
Mhm. Amazing, great. Actually, thinking of that, so you seem to be very fascinated about neuroscience and all about the brain. But just a curious question: if you hadn't been doing Oh, you haven't studied neuroscience and chose that as your path. What else would you have thought to do or wanted to do?
It's my favorite. I would have actually wanted to be a criminal psychologist.
Yes.
Um, Yeah, because I do believe, I mean, at the end of the day, criminals are humans. And,
Mhm.
I would have still got to work with criminals because under neuroscience, I can sort of work with them on like their, how their brains work and stuff like that. But I really want to get into the psychology bit of it to understand why they do what they do. Everyone has a dark side.
True. Yes. A lot of philosophies and a lot of theologies also form around the fact that we
Exactly.
have dual sides, right? It's within all of us. Moving from a little bit of a darker conversation to something a bit more, but just another thing that was curious to me, and I think the audience might be interested to know as well. You write as your motto in life is be kind, be happy, and love yourself. So those are all things that we've heard before. So of all the phrases, why did you pick those three to be your motto?
I think this is because of what I went through in my childhood. I had hard of hearing. I was also bullied in school. My sister was diagnosed with schizophrenia. So it was kind of like I had to struggle a lot to get to where I am. And in that whole journey, I realized that I wasn't really thinking about myself. Like, even when I actually had hard of hearing, it was 10 years old. And then I was only diagnosed 10 years later. And I wanted to help people sort of, everyone has their own struggle, but what about children? Like, I wanted parents to know that it's not too late. Even if you've struggled, let's say mentally, you've got a struggle, or physically, it's not too late to sort of help your child. And I think when I say be happy, be kind, love yourself, it's more about just being happy for yourself, being kind to yourself, and just loving yourself first. And throughout my journey, I realized that, when you don't love yourself, you won't be able to love your loved ones around you or anyone around you for that matter. And I had to learn it like the really hard way, going through a big, a huge breakup of like 7 years as well. So I always embrace my struggles. I never sort of say, oh, you know what, like I've struggled so much. Like, why did I have to go through that? Because there's no point asking yourself that question, right? So just embrace your struggle, but be kind to yourself. And of course, be kind to others as well. I'm not just saying be selfish and only be kind to yourself. But only when you do things for yourself, you realize that you can do things for others as well. So yeah, I think that's where I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna make this very simple. Be kind, be happy, love yourself. That's like the three main things you need.
Wonderful. I resonate with that as well, starting with yourself first. All right, Karishma, let's get straight into the title of today's conversation, right? It starts with the brain. So since there's a lot we can talk about, I'm going to try and put some context to it for this discussion. So we will quickly try to define what are the aspects of the brain that we will be discussing, why this is important topic to be aware, to bring awareness to, as well as what can me, the audience, and whoever hears this conversation do to apply the learnings today into their everyday life. So to start off with, Karishma, if I myself has quite a bit of fascination around the pineal gland, but there are so many different aspects of the brain to talk about. So since this week's theme at the Go Empowerment Summit is brain health, Karishma, could you help us categorize how we should look at the brain with regards to brain health? How do we categorize the different areas, important areas?
Interesting. So I think when we look at the brain, it's for me, it's the most beautiful organ, and it is the part of your body which is the most important part of your body because it deals with your emotions, your motor skills, your feelings, your thoughts, everything. And if you were to ask me to sort of look at which aspect of the brain, I would just say your whole brain, especially the medulla, which is basically the connection from your brain to your spinal cord to your heart. Even your heart is important. But everything starts with the brain because the brain grows until you are 25 years old. And for me, it's important to take care of your brain even after 25 years old. There are a lot of cases of like dementia, Parkinson's, and a lot of people say, which I'll also talk about much later. A lot of people say, if dementia runs in the family, that means you get it too, which is not really true, right? So I think I the aspect, when I talk about the aspect of the brain, I talk about the whole body basically, because your brain is the one that sends signals to you, the whole part of your body. If right now you pinch yourself and you don't feel anything, which means that you really need to go see a specialist. But if you pinch yourself and it sends signals to your brain that ouch, I'm hurt, or it tickles, or it's really excruciating pain. So the brain is beautiful, but it's the most complicated. It's like love. Love is beautiful, but love can be complicated as well.
Mm-hmm. Great. Karishma, okay, I have a curious question. So you say everything starts with the brain. So a lot of people actually believe in the concept of soul. So my question to you is, do you believe in a soul? And if so, is that where the soul? In the brain, in the heart? Where would you say the soul is if you believe in it?
There's always an argument about this. Yes, I do believe in the soul, and I do believe that the soul is in your brain, because the soul comprises of emotions and feelings, right? I don't want to get into the whole spiritual aspect of it, although I would love to, because I'm a spiritualist myself. But I do believe in the soul, and I do believe that the soul is in your brain. Although I know that a lot of people that would argue and say it's also in your heart. But there's an interesting thing that I talk about much later about the heart and the brain as well. But yes, to answer your question, I do believe in the soul.
All right, we should definitely have another conversation about
Yeah.
that. So, okay, so you have said that we have to really look at the whole entire brain. There's different components to it, but holistically. So, in the time that we have, I wanted to maybe explore straight into, why do you think brain health is so important? Is it like nutrition for your brain, the diet you eat, or what are the things that you say is important for us in regards to brain health?
I think everything, when you look at the brain, it's also the lifestyle you live. It's the nutrition you eat. It's how much you're moving your body. It's how how are you utilizing your brain, right? Um, Even if you're sitting idle for, let's say, 5 minutes, you're still utilizing your brain, because you're still either daydreaming. And I know a lot of Asian, or especially Indian parents, when I would daydream, my mom would be like, "Why are you daydreaming?" But I'm still using my brain, you know? Um, so I think the brain is very important, because a lot of mental health issues stem from the brain. The brain carries memories, it carries traumas, it carries, like I said, emotions, feelings, motor skills, everything. And if you don't take care of your brain, which I'm saying, for example, you don't really have like genetical problems or anything, if you don't take care of your brain, there are a lot of issues that can go on. You can either have a mental health issue, you can even have a physiological issue. For example, if you just fall down and you hit a certain part of your brain, but you don't know about it, because a lot of people don't know when they fall down. They think, yeah, okay, it's just a fall, whatever. But then years down the line, a lot of things can happen. So, which is why taking care of your brain is like taking care of your baby. That's what
Mhm.
I love. Yeah.
Okay, great. All right. So I think you spoke of one misconception, maybe of regarding brain health. You're saying that daydreaming is not really using your brain, but actually you argue that point, right? Our parents used to say that. So what are some of the other misconceptions around brain health, and why it's not so widely talked about still yet?
Um, I think one of the misconceptions is that brains of males and females differ when it comes to learning abilities, which is not true. Physiologically, they may differ, um, but there is no research, and I have to get into the research bit or the studies bit, because this is where scientists come and they do a lot of research on the male and the female brain. There is no research backing that up, whether males or female, whether males have more learning, abilities than females, or even vice versa. Um, Also, the fact that dementia runs in the genes, there is some
Mm.
truth to it, but it's not completely true. Like I said, it all depends on the lifestyle that you live. If you live a very unhealthy lifestyle, there are a lot of unhealthy things that will happen to you. If you live a healthy lifestyle, then you may live a happy lifestyle. But this does not go on to say that if I work out 7 days, or if I work out every single day, I won't get a heart attack. because that's also genetics, right? But I can reduce the risk of cardiovascular diseases or anything related to the brain, basically, because your heart and your brain are connected, you know. Yeah.
Great. So, Karishma, where do you see in society where the awareness or there is a real need to bring a more action and awareness to in regards to brain health? Is there any particular segment that is suffering the most that you encounter these days?
I think the Gen Zs,
How
because
so?
they are constantly on their phones, constantly. And we'll also touch on that like much later. But
Yeah.
also, you know, for me, I love working with young people, and I also love working with old people. And I also think that the aging population needs a lot of help as well. I think we tend to forget about them because we're like, yeah, okay, whatever, you know, they're old, they're gonna die someday or the other. What's the point? But
Mm.
at the end of the day, why? Why does anyone have to die just because they're 80, just because they're 90? You know, if you can help them in terms of anything, in terms of even, you know, dancing with them, in terms of even talking to them, you know, they're still, their brain is still active. Yes, there are certain parts of the brain that are damaged, which I don't want to get too scientific or too technical, but I think the Gen Zs really need to be aware of brain health. I'm not saying don't be on your phone or don't be on social media, but what I'm trying to say is please get out there and fall down and experience life. You know, fall on the
Can you
floor.
actually?
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off. Yeah, I just wanted to actually touch on that a little bit more. So there is quite a bit of awareness nowadays about how social media is impacting the behavior or how it's influencing our behavior. Can you speak to a little bit more, or some of the things that you have seen are the dangers or things that people have to be aware of how social media is impacting brain health of Gen Zs?
I think this has been talked like, I don't know, like a million times already, but I love this because when it comes to the brain, so we do know there is a chemical called dopamine, which is basically the feel good chemical. Now, whether it's Gen Zs, whether it's millennials, people, especially influencers, they live and breathe on likes and comments. So the minute they don't see that, they are like, oh my God, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? But you know, you don't even know the person that has liked your picture or commented on it. You know, you don't know you don't know what other people are going through. So why are you so affected by just a like or a comment? So immediately the dopamine reduces. And then they get so stressed, their cortisol level increases. So cortisol is a chemical which basically impacts stress. And I think social media is good. I don't always talk the negative about social media. It is good because it also, you know, gives us awareness. You know, we won't be doing this, and we won't be connected if not for social media. But I think it's what you choose to see and how you choose to look at social media. Are likes and comments really important, or are genuine posts important?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Great, thank you, Krishma. You earlier you mentioned something about dancing with the elderly to help with it, right? So that really perked my interest because I also read that you are a dancer of some sort. What kind of dance do you do?
Oh, I used to teach Latin American, but I've also danced ballroom. I actually started with hip hop and Bharatnatyam, which are like two all different areas of dance. But my love has always been for Latin American and ballroom.
Also, I mean, so I would call myself a dancer
Oh,
as well. So I do specifically social partner dance. So we really must have a
oh
conversation
yes,
to discuss about the relationship between the brain and dancing. Because I mean, I haven't done the research that you might have access to, but I've definitely, from at least anecdotal evidence from my own experience, see how profound. Forget about the elderly or people who are suffering, even just for general everyday health, how dance can be such an important practice to keep in life. So we will talk about another conversation, but I bring this up because I think maybe you can speak to the audience about what you know, because I've definitely come across articles where how dance has helped improve people's cognitive ability and mental health. Can you speak a little bit what was done and how that
yeah.
is? practiced?
So I think you and I can both agree that dance is a way of expression. And you can express yourself in any kind of way. You can express yourself as someone happy, someone angry, someone confused, and movement is important because when you move, you are increasing endorphins, you are increasing dopamine. These are all happy hormones in your brain, and you're expressing yourself. You know, you're expressing anger. So when you're angry, you're expressing that in your dance. You are moving your body, which means your motor skills in your brain are also active. And of course, we've heard of dance therapy and all of that have helped people, whether they're old people, whether they're people like us. For example, if I'm super stressed or when I was going through depression as well, I used to dance. And to be honest, my depression, I wouldn't say my depression got cured because that's just not possible, but I could manage it with my dance because that was my way of expressing. You can even cry when you're dancing. You do know, like, in contemporary, they also show their emotions. And I think that's beautiful because you are allowing your brain to heal, which is, I'm not talking about if your brain is wounded, but if you are going through mental struggles, you're allowing your brain to heal through dance because you're expressing, your chemicals are excreting, and your body is moving, which means you're also burning calories, maybe.
Definitely.
So yeah, so I think that's how I would relate dance to the brain. I'm sorry if you can see my cat, but my cat is going to come in the middle of
That's
this
all right.
conversation.
No worries, Karishma. I'll just continue. I just add on to say because yeah, I completely agree with you all those benefits. But for me as well, because I am a dancer in a genre called social partner dancings, like salsa,
Yeah.
bachata, and specifically Miki Zomba. And the topic that I really am interested and want to share the world with is this element called connection, where two
Oh, yeah.
people who have never ever danced together before can
Correct.
come and dance together freestyle like as if they've been dancing and practicing forever.
Yeah.
And that is also another interesting element we would love to have a conversation about. Karishma, unfortunately, we really are running out of time.
Oh, yes.
We have to bring on the next speaker soon. So before we go, thank you very much again for those
Thank
insights and
you.
taking the time today. I'll end this conversation, and thank you to the audience for joining in as well by letting Karishma share a little bit more about what your philosophy is and where people can connect with you to know more about the brain and some of the work that you do.
Sure. Thank you. So I think the first thing is to just be you, and express yourself. My favorite quote is express, don't suppress, no matter what. Go to a professional if you need help, or talk to someone who you trust, not just anyone. Um, and just take care of your health as a whole, your mental, physical, and your spiritual health as well. You know, when I talk about meditation, which is also very important, I don't mean sit in one space and close your eyes. Walking is meditation, dancing is meditation, yoga is meditation. Please walk, move your body, whether you're dancing, whether you're walking, whether you are climbing the tree like a monkey, you still move your body. That is very important. Also, eat right, I would say. I'm not really a nutritionist, but I do follow healthy eating. Not to say I don't have a burger. I do have burgers and I do have fries. They're still my favorite. Um, but just live a healthy and a content life. I wouldn't say happy because not all of us are like 100% happy, but live a content life and don't be afraid to speak your mind. Don't be afraid. Just be nice. That's it. When you speak your mind, be kind and be nice. Don't be rude. Yeah. So that's basically my philosophy. Just be you. That's it. And yeah, I think. Oh, I don't think I can hear you.
Sorry, I was just saying, can you
Oh,
please share with how people can connect with you on different
oh, yeah.
avenues?
Yes. So you can add me on Instagram. I'm not sure if I can put my link anywhere. Instagram, LinkedIn. I don't use much of Facebook, but Instagram and LinkedIn would be great. I do have a website, but it's currently under construction. But everything that I have is on my Instagram, on my LinkedIn. I don't use TikTok. Just in case anybody wants to connect with me on TikTok. But Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Yes.
Great. I think we can probably later add it to the show notes and the comments of this viewing. Thank you so much, Karishma, for your time. Really appreciate those insightful conversation. Have a great day, everybody. And over to you, Andrea, to the next speaker. Take care.
Take care.
Hello everyone, someone is already in the studio. I'm welcoming Emma and I will play one more video before we start, but get ready, we are coming up with an amazing other beautiful conversation. And thank you Sanjay and Karishma for the previous talks, and let's start the show. Hello everyone. Hi guys. Thank you so much for the support and for showing up and being here. I just want to say hi to everyone in the comments. Hi Jack, Charles, Krishnan, Ilza, Anjali, Kenyatta, Alchan. Thank you so much for being here. We are very happy to have you here at the Third Global Empowerment Summit. And my next guest is Emma. And Emma will have also an amazing topic today. You look amazing. Look at that red color. How are you today, Emma?
I'm doing great. Andrea, and thank you to everyone who coming for this GES Summit for 2022. I'm so thrilled to be here for the second year. Thank you for this very wonderful opportunity opened by my sister Andrea for me.
So happy to have you here, Emma. And we will talk about your topic very soon. I will bring it up. But before I do, please introduce yourself a little bit. Tell me about Emma, who is here in the personal life, in the business part. Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
All right. Okay. So wondering who is this red lipstick girls? All right, everyone. Okay. My name is Emma. I'm 36 years old. I don't have any stage name yet because not popular yet. All right. Been working with the insurance industry for past 14 years. My career begin not so easy as anyone been like knowing by others. It's very tough. So I start my career from the lowest uh, stage until who am I now. So those who in insurance industry, they know me. Start with zero, become something that I can contribute back. So I'm from insurance industry. About me, my personal life, I'm a single mother with 2 kids. Don't surprise. All right, but coming soon. Get the partner lah. All right. Okay. All right. So when Andrea asked me, "Hey, Emma, would you like to be part of Global Empowerment Summit?" Without I know how to do it, I said yes. And first I met with Andrea is during the pandemic. Until now, for your information, I never meet Andrea in person. So one of my wish list for this 2020 before the December end, I wish to meet this wonderful woman who create me in this platform, who bring part of my career life also, yeah, in LinkedIn. All right. So nothing much to say about me myself. I've been working in insurance industry. My area more to learning and development. So the title that I'm choosing today, something that I eager to share with all the youth out there, and not also the youth, whatever tips and information that I'm sharing also is really be benefit to all of us today.
And I'm bringing up your topic, break the barriers holding back your career for youth. And I'm so happy that we are touching on different generations, because that's also part of the summit's one of the chapters, to break gaps and to close gaps between different generations and in different areas of life. So what does this title mean to you, and what exactly is for you breaking the barriers? So tell us a little bit more about that.
Okay, thank you, Andrea. So, my dearest viewers, all right, we are living in the age of where there is an increasing numbers of occupations to choose from our youngsters need to choose from the secondary school level, all right? So the world is ever changing and the frontiers of knowledge in science and technologies is widening. So the career decision is a very crucial aspect of life, hence it's a complicated process to the youth, all right? Even the counselor at schools, yeah, they have one of their aims to make sure that the student, yeah, can make appropriate decisions regards to their career choice. So even I did read some book studies shows that the students struggle to make their decision, yeah, as regard a good career or choice. So study also have shown that they are very difficult to make decision about their future. All right. So when students make a wrong decision, they have a very negative implications, yeah, on their occupation choice, social life, and well-being. So there are increasing evidence that students have difficulties in decision making. This also can appear during the interview session. Like what I said earlier, when Andrea asked me, hey, what topic you want to bring for this year? I think it is important for me to empower you out there to break the barriers about what their occupation for their future. So as a teenagers, they need to prepare to enter a new work world with jobs that didn't exist, can be yet to be imagined. Yeah. What kind of career advice that we as a community need to prepare for our next generation? Yeah. The answer is very simple. We skip the generation. We don't divide them. So when I choose the title Youth Break the Barrier, Hold Back Your Career, it's like I want to tell youth out there, most importantly in work is about gain the skill as much as you can. It's not the title. But nowadays, Andrea, to share with you, happen to be my work, like I have to do some of the interview based on my experience. So when I do interview with all the graduate students, this and that, in my era, the interviewer will ask you. But in this era, don't surprise that the youngsters dare to ask you how's the words, what will I do, this and that. So this is the part that I really hope that our youngster is good there to ask. But for you to venture your work life is good for you to venture how the environment first and dare to ask after that. So whether you experience the environment, yeah, you actually holding back your career experience. So until when you want to hold your certificate, just by saying, oh, I'm a degree holder, I think this salary package is not suit with me, but you don't have any experience and skills to do so. At the end of the day, when we do work, it's not just a matter about what you have in here. It's also need to do with your skills. So this is the part that's really, really I encourage, yeah, encourage all the youngsters, yeah. I can say I'm not saying try to differentiate by generation, but sometimes whatever other generation experience is good for us to mold as a model to be a success person. All right. Okay.
Thank you so much for the share. And we were talking about this back then with other speakers too, that nowadays the new generation is more openly speaking, more demanding. They know what they want, and they also ask for it already at the interview. So what you can give me as an employer, it's not like one-sided, that before it was like, okay, I'm the employer, this is what I can give you, and there's no more discussion. And today it's like, okay, I'm standing up, I'm here, what can you provide me so that I will choose you? So tell me. And it's kind of like a contest to, okay, I will win over all these people. So it's an interesting change in dynamism for the youth. And continuing the conversation about careers, what do you think? How can youngsters build their career in this changing world, with all the things coming up, with the digital, with the globalization? What are the steps that they can follow? What are the factors that we have to take into consideration?
Okay, all right. To start with this, I start with there is factors that affect our youth career choice. All right. So when we talk about occupation, the choice is factors by the psychology. This is part of the major factors. Come back to the earlier session, brain. Yeah, all right. Psychology followed by social, surrounding. We are in the era of digital. The information is limitless for them. So when they know things, they tend to defend. That's a reason, like what you are saying just now, Andrea. Oh, start the demand because they have that information from the social. And it's not just that economic situation, yeah, to make them looking for better, but yet coming, like what I said earlier, yeah, you cannot demand without you have any experience and skills with your hands. And another factors that affect the career choice is the culture. You know, that's why what I can share with you, my experience when I do interview, I kind of do some observation. Sorry to say this, when I interview, the same qualification that this participant have, but the background of the culture, I mean by the culture is like family culture environment. When you're coming from the very hard situation, you know, like struggle family situation, you don't mind to think about the demand. What you want is like, please accept me to work with you. So during the interview, they tend to just agree with what you've been offered. Yeah. But in other types of culture, we're coming from very well-do family, maybe have a very good parents, have a very good connections, yeah. And then the environment, you know, like when we see at the interview forms, when we look at the family background, yeah, this and that, then during the interview we can see that give a little bit impact, yeah, to this person. For sure, when you're coming from very well do family and background and a very well do environment, like what I said, you try to demand because that environment really contribute to your behavior or attitude. All right. So an individual job choice here is molded by, like what I said earlier, family, the morals, the value, the intelligence, the ability, the finance, and many other factors also. All right. But this is the major will be the psychology, social economy, and also the culture. So what we can see nowadays, youngsters, so most of them choose their interest field, yeah, based on their personality and character. Yeah, so it is supposed to be like it can be other way around also. Yeah, when a career choose them based on the personality includes not only the outward presentation, all right, it's also the perception that that particular person holds to the society. Let me give you me as a testimony for this situation. I'm also surprised that I've been in insurance industry. So me, after SPM working at the shoes shop and start with my career journey as a cabin crew. So from the cabin crew, like after that, I've been away from that industry. I was thinking, what my career will be. So whatever that I'm sharing with all of you today is about my journey. Then I make that as things to be shared and empower to other youth. How you choose your career is not being determined by others. It's about your patience towards your interest. And every interest that we are doing is money. I give you an example. I'm a mother, right? I have 2 kids. When I saw any mother sharing, oh, my kids want to become a doctor, my kids want to become an architect. So I'm in this conversation and they ask me, Emma, your kids want to be what? Oh, my kids answer me to become a juice maker. Another one more younger kids want to become a Lazada. So I asked my daughter, why you want to become a juice maker? Because I like to making a juice. So me as a mother, I encourage that, because I don't mold my kids with a very well, like what I said, like to become a doctor, engineer, this and that. No, I let my kid choose their passion from the start, because how I see the juice maker, I'm not looking the small juice maker. I said, that's great. You see, there's a lot of juice maker here. We have Boost, we have Starbucks, we have a lot of juice maker, but you must make something different to make me proud. Yes, mommy, I will think about the recipe. Then I asked my second daughter, Zaria, why you want to be a Lazada? Because people like to buy things, mommy. At Lazada, you can buy anything. Okay, you can be a next Jack Ma, I said. Another one more Jack Ma in Malaysia. I say, okay, that's great, but you must make more money, then you can help me. So this is how, like what choice that we give. Because like what I said, the occupation, in the era, in our era now, is a very wide. We're not limit as a doctor, engineer, and also architect. Don't limit that. We as a parents, or we as the partners to anyone who have a kids, this and that, I really encourage you look their dreams as wide as you can encourage them. Yeah.
It's just so amazing to listen to you, because it's kind of like encouraging your kids to be like super entrepreneurs, and encouraging them to be free as they want, but also a little bit pushing them like out of the box. Like, okay, you have to be different. Why would you just be the same if you can be different? It's really what you say about breaking barriers. You are also walking the talk with your own life and with your own kids. And also yourself. I remember you when we first met, you were so curious, and you were really interested in things that are coming to you. And I feel just you grew so much in the last few years. And I'm just happy to see that the confidence that you have, the way you show up, the way you talk, the way you can empower people. So it has been a big journey for you, and I'm so proud of you. Amazing. So, Emma, let's go further and talk about the career life, and what can we explore here more. So, how exactly can you break those barriers as parents, as the person who wants to break it, as young people? So, what are the steps that we can do to break it, to be brave enough to break them?
All right. It's not just for youth, to others who in this room, in this channel, we can break these barriers. Yeah. All right. I see just now comment coming from, hey, I also cabin crew. You not will be forever there. When you open the opportunity, there is a lot of opportunity to be there. All right. Before I go, how we can break these barriers. Yeah. All right. I would like to share some. Are the skills that most of us needs. We are talking work, like whatever we study is something that contribute to our knowledge, but the implementation, we still need the skills. So when I do interview session, when I do one-to-one session, this and that with all the fresh graduate, when I having one-to-one with a fresh graduate, what you all need in this career environment, most importantly is verbal communication. At first, as what Andrea said, I'm not really good in communication, but what I do is like I just enter any platform that I can able to throw my verbal communication, because I believe whether it's right, whether it's wrong, my grammar it is, I just want to make sure that my viewers there can reach my information. So the most important skill that you need as a worker, youth out there, please remember, is your communication skills. There is a lot of platform out there, YouTube, and most importantly, this GES, there is a lot of boot camp, there is a lot of good speaker in this. Go listen, join as much as you can. We're not in the my era where any platform that you want to enter, you have to be. There's a lot of platform that you can learn these communication skills. And most importantly, we as a human here, as a worker, we need to learn about sensitivity and understanding. Like what I said, this area could not cover in your book of knowledge. You can read it, but implementation might not showing a success. We should learn about the sensitivity because we work with human. We engage with human, which this is the area that your AI cannot do it. Your computer cannot do it. Yeah. And then the ability to work well with others, come back to the sensitivity and also the understanding. And you, if you are work with people, of course we're having our customer, the service, how you service your customer. All right. Patient, how we want to remain calm in stressful situation. We are in the era like it tend to like easy to get stressed because the social media sometimes contribute this a little bit. Yeah. All right. And then like what I said, go back to your patient. What you really like it. Even you've been a graduate from engineering, but your patient is dancing. Looking at how the engineering can contribute in dancing. That how we look things. Don't just because you are being graduate under engineering, so you limit less. Oh, I'm graduate from engineering. I don't think I suit with this occupation. But your patient really like to dance. So how we can contribute that engineering perspective? That's how the occupation choice become more wider when we start to think creative on what we have and what patient are we in what we like. Yeah. So how we can break the barriers, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I always take this quote with me. I like Sir Richard Charles Nicholas Branson, or short name is Richard Branson. Everyone know about Richard Branson, the founder of Virgin Group. I starting know Richard Branson, not in personal. All right. When I start join AirAsia, I'm cabin crew from AirAsia last time. All right. So I start to know Richard Branson when I start my career with AirAsia, when they start do the company introduction. They said the Tony Fernandez get an idea of this from Virgin Airlines, and the founder was Richard Branson. And when I read about this man, it's a very humanity. I like the quotes. So when the question how we can break these barriers, I remember what Sir Richard Branson saying. If someone offer you an amazing opportunity and you really not sure how to do it, you just say yes. Then you learn how to do it later. So when first Andrea reached me to be part of Global Empowerment Summit during the pandemic, I don't know how to do it, but what I do, I said yes. Am I excited to be lined up in this project? But I'm so grateful this person guide me until for my second year to be part in this project, and I'm happy to continue contribute in this program. All right. So the first, always curious and hungry to learn, no matter what. How you can break this is like you need to have curious and hungry to learn. How to have this? Back to you punya passion and what you like. Alright. Second, you need to be tough. Oh, I tak biasa lah. I'm not really familiar to do this. This is not what I learned from my university. I think like the salary that you provide is not equable with my certification, like for example. All right. You need to be tough and not afraid to work hard. Looking back all the success people in this world, yeah, they're not coming like so easy. And if you see now, ladies, many founders of businesswomen, businessmen, yeah, they're not coming like easy. All come with the success. Why it's always need to be work hard? It because if it easy, when someone interview you, what is the hard story that you can contribute and inspire others? Yeah. So you don't have story to tell to inspire other on how you get your achievement. So it's always need to work hard. Some people will not agree, say work hard. So you do not learn, very simple, yeah, tough and not afraid to work hard. You not learn to work by following the rules, everyone. Remember when we baby, right? We learn how to walk, crawling from the book. I'm sure it's not. You doing and you falling over, and at the end, till now that we can walk with the heels. Yeah. And always remember, when we have a good qualities, it will lead to success and it will give you an opportunity. So the window of opportunity is not coming in front of your door. You need to find it. So despair become hope, change become progress, and the door opportunity will open for you. So in a community, what we done and to help the youth, to share with you, Andrea and others also, there is a lot of mentor program to young person happen out there. Grab that opportunity and learn more. Tutor with the expert, like me myself, when I go to LinkedIn, I'm not just scroll and reading stuff. I'm looking them and I inspired by looking at their that working background, this and that. Hey, how this person at young age can be in this position? Yeah, start to do that. Volunteer. There is a lot of volunteer. Yeah, like for example, being opened by Andrea is a very good platform to all the youth to join. It because of indirectly you will be a circle with all the other experts from other country, and you will learn it slowly. And not to forget, the support done by the community also. Like, let me share with you, Andrea, like Alliance, we do have CEO program. This opportunity been open to all the youth without any experience. But what we give in a community is like we mold, we guide our youngsters to have a platform where you can look as your future. So this is the part that I would like. There's a lot of company are doing now for all the youth. So don't say that we don't have jobs opportunity. Yeah. So stop demanding. What I can say, ugly to be true, but this is the truth. Stop demanding. Just look an opportunity.
Thank you so much. Love the message. And I think we will stick to this message at the end of the conversation because I have to switch studios. Thank you, Emma, for coming and supporting us for another year. And really looking forward to next year, hopefully in an in-person summit that we will organize together. And thank you so much for the inspiration today. Everyone was loving it. And please rewatch it. Please connect with Emma. Most probably you're on LinkedIn, right? They can reach out to you there and follow this beautiful woman and strong woman who is empowering the youth. And thank you so much. Have a beautiful day, Emma.
All right. Thank you, Andrea. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great Saturday with GES team, everyone. Get more information. Bye.
Bye. Love.